Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at slice ground strokes this week, and today, probably the time that I use a slice backhand most often, my most favorite time to use it is approach shots. And there are three styles of approach that I use with my backhand slice, so let's get into them. The first would be just the standard slice approach shot. And that's when I'm looking, at a ball that's coming in from my opponent. It's obviously landing a little bit short and most likely a little lower, kind of around the height of the net is where that bounce is going to be that I make contact with. So a couple of things that the slice achieves for me on this standard slice approach is that contact, being around the height of the net when you're closer to the net, it becomes a little difficult, I think, to really trust hitting up big, because you're running out of court quicker than if we were hitting from behind the baseline. So the fact that that slice is going to stay closer to the top of the tape gives me the feeling that I'm going to hold the court and most likely still get some pretty good depth out of it. I almost always go down the line with this because I like to streamline that slice. If you'll notice, I have some footwork involved here when I go ahead and hit these, to allow me to kind of just glide in, because obviously I should be following this up with a volley. But what you're going to notice in order to really maintain my slice technique is my left leg is going to come sweeping around me, and that's how I'm able to maintain this really clean slice position on the finish. It's a great way to just get in. I know I'm going down to most players' forehands, but the ball's going to skid, it's going to stay low. We're closing in, we're looking for that next ball to sit up. This is a great shot because you just don't want to approach in today's modern game with the string, with the rackets, and have the approach shot sitting up all that much. I just feel like the opponent on the baseline can do so much damage with their passing shots if the ball is sitting up for them. So that slice backhand approach forces them to hit the ball up to you at the net, which is a really nice feeling. So let's look at this standard slice backhand approach. Here we go. All right, I mean, I'd be shocked if he's actually making that back, but I did get that so nice and deep it hit the baseline. Again, look at the glide on that swing. A lot of times I feel like players at the club level get to the approach, you got a little less time to hit, start stressing out, and the swing gets a little quick and choppy. By nature, a slice backhand is just a smooth action, so it allows you to stay really calm through the shot. Let's see one more of those. Take that all day. Close in, come up, pop off a volley, okay? Now, I'd be in the same position for option number 2, but this is going to be more of that knife slice approach. And this is if my opponent makes the huge mistake of giving me a short ball that sits up a little higher. And I know I can come in and come over that ball, but once again, as I get closer to the net, I want my opponent to have to hit up to me. Okay, a lot of times I feel like the option I would use in terms of coming over this ball is to go more for a clean winner. And that's obviously a little lower percentage than drawing up a play. So when that short ball sits higher, if you want to be high percentage, most likely have to hit an extra shot, but draw up a play designed for success, you're going to get up to this ball, and once again, as we know, that the parameters of a knife slice are get that racket a little steeper so that we're driving down on that ball more. We got this big lean into contact, putting more weight on the ball. That puts more weight into the shot. And then how steep I come down on it, once again, that's going to create a ton of bite where the ball skids and stays so close to the ground. And now as I approach in, my opponent has no choice but to hit probably a very high ball back up to me, where I'm going to come in and pick it off with a volley, possibly a little sitter overhead. So the knife slice, I would use this. This ball's sitting higher. I'm still probably going down the line with it, but you have options now. You can definitely come up and carve a knife slice wide and swing them out. But let's look at the one that goes down the line first. All right, I mean, that honestly, guys, has a chance to be a clean winner. But you can see, without even thinking about it, you hear me breathe out a little more on that ball. I'm just putting more force onto that shot. Okay, that's kind of a disaster for my opponent, and it's all created because their short ball sat higher. Let's now see that knife slice go cross court, see what we're working with there. Yeah, okay, so again, I don't feel like I have to come up to those and feel like they're going to be clean winners. I'm just begging my opponent to just honestly deal with that, float something back. And again, a design play a lot of times I feel like takes pressure off you as the hitter, where the alternative of coming over it should probably be a clean winner, okay? Now the third slice approach that I use, once again, is by design. Probably not a clean winner. Federer uses this a ton. He'll come in to an approach shot with his backhand slice. He'll specifically land it so shallow that the second bounce of the ball should be somewhere in no man's land. All right, so you think about that. First bounce has to be inside the service box. Second bounce would be occurring in no man's land. So the opponent is literally coming up towards this second bounce and probably having to scoot something up. Most likely Federer obviously is closing out the top of the net, and he's got a wide open court on the other side. So probably taking a little bit off this shot, and the way you would do that is a little less grip pressure, but at the same time visualizing your landing zones, especially with a slice, which is definitely more in the category of a finesse shot, is definitely a tangible thing. You want to visualize the first bounce and the second bounce, and if you can really picture that second bounce dropping into no man's land, you've created a big problem for your opponent with your slice approach. So let's have a look at that. All right, so there's a good example there. You know, and I probably shortened out my follow through a little bit. Again, you can roll with this backhand slice because we're not concerned about over hitting this thing. So if it's honestly somewhere feeling between a drop shot and your standard slice, you're likely to get that shallow bounce, and therefore the second bounce occurring inside the baseline significantly. You know, it's definitely more of a nuanced play. I'm not using this as often as I'd use the other two. But once again, variety with that slice is such a cool thing. So that's something I would play around with. Visualizing it is super key, okay? And there we go. That's all I got for today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.